Today I'm building this fully functional, realistic passenger plane in Roblox Build a Plane. Here's how it's going to go. First, I'll start by building the main body of the plane, making sure the structure is solid and well balanced. Then, I'll begin adding the necessary parts like the fuel system, propellers or jet engines, and control surfaces. After that, I'll attach the wings and tail, shape up the plane even more, and fine-tune the design to make sure it's actually flight-ready. Finally, we'll take it to the skies and see how well it performs. Stick around, because we've got some awesome aviation facts coming up while I build this plane. Let's roll the intro. Let's talk about airplanes, and I mean real ones. You might think flying is just about engines and wings, but the world of aviation is packed with mind-blowing facts. First off, the average commercial airliner flies at around 35,000 feet. That's higher than Mount Everest. At that altitude, the outside temperature can drop to nearly 60 degrees Celsius. That's cold enough to freeze exposed skin instantly. The fastest passenger plane ever built was the Concorde. It flew at over twice the speed of sound, Mach 2, which means it could get from New York to London in under 3.5 hours. Speaking of speed, the cruising speed of a modern jet is around 500 to 600 miles per hour. That's almost 10 miles every minute. You've probably heard of the black box. But did you know it's not actually black? It's bright orange so that it can be found more easily after a crash. Let's talk about the wings. Airplane wings are designed with a special curved shape called an airfoil. The top is more curved than the bottom, which helps create lift and keeps the plane in the sky. Modern jet engines are engineering marvels. Each one can contain over 25,000 individual parts and cost up to $20 million. When they're running, the fans inside can spin at over 10,000 revolutions per minute. Planes are also designed to handle crazy amounts of stress. The wings, for example, can bend up to 26 feet without breaking. That's important, because turbulence can put a lot of pressure on the structure. Here's a weird one. Commercial planes get hit by lightning around once a year on average, but they're built to handle it. The electricity usually passes through the fuselage without doing any damage. Speaking of structure, airplanes are pressurized so we can breathe at high altitudes. Without that system, passengers would pass out in just a few minutes. The largest passenger aircraft in the world is the Airbus A380. It has 2 full decks and can carry over 850, an all-economy setup. The wingspan is almost 80 meters, longer than a football field. In contrast, the smallest manned airplane ever flown had a wingspan of just over 6 feet. That's barely wider than a person is tall. Here's a fun fact. Some airplanes have a tiny hole in their windows. It's not a defect, it's called a breather hole. And it helps equalize air pressure between the cabin and the air, gap in the window layers. And believe it or not, pilots don't manually fly the entire trip. On most commercial flights, autopilot is used for over 90% of the journey. But pilots are still essential, especially for takeoff, landing, and handling unexpected situations. There's even something called ETOPS, a rule that tells airlines how far a plane can fly from the nearest emergency landing airport. The longer the ETOPS certification, the farther a plane can safely fly over oceans or remote areas. Let's not forget cargo planes. Some of them, like the Antonov, were so big they could carry trains, helicopters, and even other airplanes. There are also stealth aircraft, like the B-2 Spirit bomber. Its shape and material are designed to avoid radar detection. It looks like something out of a sci-fi movie. Military jets can reach speeds of over 1,500 miles per hour. That's more than twice the speed of sound, fast enough to cross an entire country in under an hour. Here's something that might surprise you. Air travel is one of the safest modes of transportation. Statistically, you're more likely to be struck by lightning than to be involved in a serious airline accident. Flight attendants aren't just there to serve snacks. They're highly trained in emergency procedures, including CPR, firefighting, and evacuations. Some runways are so extreme they've become famous. For example, The runway at Lukla Airport in Nepal is short, sloped, and surrounded by mountains, and it's considered one of the most dangerous in the world. Ever notice how cabin lights dim during landing at night? That's done on purpose. It helps your eyes adjust in case you need to evacuate quickly. And those tray tables? They're locked upright during takeoff and landing to keep your exit path clear in an emergency. Even the food trays are designed with safety in mind. Lightweight materials reduce fuel burn, and every extra pound counts when you're flying. Last one. Did you know that when you flush an airplane toilet, it uses a vacuum system instead of water? That saves weight and prevents the contents from sloshing around during turbulence. And no, nothing gets dumped into the sky. Everything is stored safely and sealed until the plane lands. That's just a small sample of the incredible things about aviation. If you learned something new, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment what I should build next in Roblox Build a Plane. Want me to build a military jet? A flying car? Maybe something totally crazy? Drop your ideas below. I read every single comment. And here is the final result. I hope you enjoy the build. Please don't forget to subscribe. It motivates me to make more awesome videos.